Using the Ethereum Classic testnet Mordor. A blockchain is a network with many nodes and miners around the world working on the system, processing transactions and building blocks. Core developers work constantly on improving the node's software clients, integrating protocol upgrades, and fixing bugs. dApp developers build new dApps or upgrade existing ones all the time, and businesses deploy smart contracts to enforce agreements with counterparties. All of the above may happen while using real money and contracts on the main network, mainnet, and all the components are usually as battle tested as possible to minimize errors. But where are all these systems, upgrades, and components ran and tried before deployment in the real world? What are testnets? To ensure that all the things mentioned in the previous section may be tried and checked previously to being deployed in the real world, blockchain communities maintain what are called testnets. Testnets are basically clones of the mainnets, so their role is to provide an as identical as possible environment to be able to test all new systems and components. Testnets work the same way as the main networks, so they have a cryptocurrency, a ledger with accounts and balances, smart contracts, and an EVM in the case of programmable blockchains, and are fully replicated. Some testnets are proof of work, and others may be proof of stake or proof of authority. How are testnets used? Testnets are used by core developers, dApp developers, people, and businesses for the following cases. To test upgrades, every time there are protocol changes or upgrades to the Ethereum Virtual Machine EVM, blockchain core developers test all these changes in the corresponding testnets. The testnets go through rehearsal runs, implementing upgrades at specific block numbers, just as it would eventually occur on the mainnet. To test bug fixes. In the same way as with upgrades, bug fixes of the protocol or the software clients are also tested previously on testnets to ensure that they provide the desired solutions. To test smart contracts. When people or businesses wish to test smart contracts before deployment on the mainnet, they may use testnets to try and run all the features to check that they work correctly. To test dApps. dApp developers test their applications, features, and functions on testnets before sending them to full production on the mainnet. The ETC Mordor testnet. The Ethereum Classic ETC Mordor testnet is the parallel clone network of ETC that is used as the environment to try and test upgrades, bug fixes, smart contracts, and dApps before they are implemented and used in the real world. As a testnet, Mordor is not meant to be immutable like the ETC mainnet. It is actually made to be changed, broken, fixed, and restarted whenever necessary. This is the value of the testnet as a playground to run all the risks before deployment to the real world. Whereas the ETC network has the chain ID 61, Mordor uses the chain ID 63, and the genesis block of Mordor is not the same as the ETC network. So node peers check all these different parameters before joining. Mordor is a proof of work blockchain as ETC and is just another network in the cluster of EVM networks in the blockchain industry. How is Mordor used? The cryptocurrency of the Mordor testnet is METC and is very cheap. Actually, it is passed around and donated by volunteers in what are called faucets for everyone to use. This makes Mordor a very inexpensive environment to test upgrades, smart contracts, and dApps. The node operators of the Mordor testnet may also mine METC, creating blocks, which is key to recreate the environment of the ETC mainnet. All participants in the network are volunteers with the interest of having a good environment to test things for ETC. Developers may deploy dApps on Mordor before going to full production. the block times of the testnet are the same as ETC, which are 13 seconds per block. Running a Mortar node using the CoreGeth client. A way to run a Mortar node is by downloading the CoreGeth software client, the same as for the mainnet, but instead of initializing it with the command --classic, it must be initialized with the string --Mordor. The following is the link to get CoreGeth. To send transactions or deploy dApps or smart contracts on the Mortar testnet, the local port to use is http://localhost:8545. These are two images of two nodes where one was initialized with a string that finishes with --Mordor. So this is running the Mortar testnet, this node. And as you can see here, it has the chain ID 63. This lower node here that I am running, I started with a string ending --classic. And as you can see, the chain ID is 61. Running a Mortar node using dapnode. For developers and users who are running ETC nodes on dapnode, they need to download the package etc Mortar CoreGeth and wait until it synchronizes. To send transactions or deploy dApps or smart contracts to Mortar, the local port on dapnode to use is the following: http://mortar-core-geth.public.dapnode:8545. So for people using dapnode who wish to run an ETC Mortar CoreGeth instance or node, this is where you would see, when you go to packages, you would see the list of packages you're running. In this case, it's DMS, ETC CoreGeth, and ETC Mortar CoreGeth. So you have to download the package and start running it. And when you click on it, you're going to see the local host, the RPC endpoint for you to send transactions, dApps, smart contracts, etc. to test everything on Mortar. Connecting to Mortar using public endpoints. If developers or users want to test things before deployment but don't wish to run a full ETC Mortar testnet node, then they can use public endpoints to send transactions, dApps, and smart contracts. The list of all endpoints for the ETC ecosystem is in the following link: https://ethereumclassic.org/network/endpoints. The most commonly used endpoint to access Mortar is provided by the ETC cooperative, and it is the following: https://www.ethercluster.com/Mordor. Getting Mortar coins for testing and paying transaction fees. As mentioned before, the Mortar testnet for testing things for Ethereum Classic use a coin called METC. This coin may be mined or received as a donation for testing from what are called faucets, which are provided by volunteers. A very popular faucet is run by the Hibby block team, and the link is the following: https://ec.hibbyswap.com/#faucet. Mining on the Mortar testnet. The easiest way to start mining on the Mortar testnet is to run a CoreGeth node software client and activate it for mining. For this, the string that needs to be entered in the command line is --Mordor to start the node, and then --mine. If an ETC address is not set up to mine, then an Etherbase, which is analogous to the Coinbase in Bitcoin, must be entered to start mining. An Etherbase is the address in which miners wish to receive their block rewards. To set up an Etherbase, the command that must be entered is --miner.etherbase your address. For example, --miner.etherbase and then an ETC address, and you're going to start receiving your ETC rewards in METC there. The full instruction for mining on Mortar are in the following links. The full instructions for mining on Mortar are in the following link. Thank you for watching this Ethereum Classic guide. To learn more about ETC, please go to ethereumclassic.org. Thank you very much.